We're here at Newstalk's 2015 Championship launch. I'm here with the former Mayo manager James Horan. He's the newest member of the Newstalk team for the Championship. James, how have you found being on the other side of the mic?
So far so good. Yeah, it's a lot less pressure, a bit more fun. So it's good. Yeah, we've been involved in last weekend. We were up in Cavan covering that game. So it was very good game. Very good kick off to the coverage. So yeah, so far so good.
I heard Dave saying earlier that it was your first time at an Ulster Championship game. How, for example, how do you find it different to Connacht Championship games?
Yeah, I suppose ultimately there isn't that much difference. You know, we were there early, so you get the crowd, you sense the crowd coming in, and it was a very, I suppose, similar to a Mayo Galway game. You know, there's local rivalry. There's a lot of history there. You know, Monaghan are probably the dominant team over the last couple of years, and Cavan have a very strong history and are a young team and looking to come through. You know, a lot of similarities between Mayo and Galway actually. So there's a lot of things similar about that. But the colour and the day and the venue and everything was good, so it made for a good game.
We're here in Croke Park, and obviously you'll be here again this Sunday for the Dublin Longford game. Dublin go into the game as overwhelming favourites. They're probably favourites for Leinster. What do you think? I suppose in this situation they have a lot to lose but nothing to gain.
Yeah, I see. It was a Rory O'Carroll in the papers today, or came out saying it was a lose-lose game in one way for Dublin. You know, if they win it by a cricket score, it was only a Division 4 team, and you know, if it's a close game, they don't play well. It was long for, you know, so it's difficult for them. But I suppose Jim Gavin and his process mentality and the team that have adopted now, that they'll just go out and they'll be just getting themselves right as they would for any other game, and they'll go out and they'll play the game as it is, you know, and you'd have to see. It's difficult to see anything else except a comprehensive Dublin victory.
You mentioned there a few moments ago again about the Galway Mayo rivalry, comparing it to Cavan and Monaghan. You've had plenty of experience already with the FBD League and the Alliance League of not being on the sideline. How do you find it when those two teams face off, that you know you're not there and there is the joint management team, but you'll have no influence on what happens? Yeah,
I was just talking to Shane Walsh there about it. Yeah, it'll be. We'll be up in Pearse Stadium and cheering them on the same as the thousands others, but they're always great occasions at Mayo Galway, and this year in particular will be interesting. You know, with new management on both sides really. You know, Galway with again a lot of young players coming through. Mayo the dominant force over the last few years, and a really strong team. Looking to kick on even further, so it makes for a great occasion. I'm sure Galway will be spurred on by the last meeting of the teams up in Pearse Stadium, where Mayo had a comprehensive victory. So they have a couple of games under their belt as well, so they should hit the ground running. But I'm sure Mayo, where all their focus is on that date now. So it's going to be a fascinating game.
Have you been impressed with both teams this year?
Mayo started off very well in the league, tried out a few different things, which was good to see, tried a few different players. The end of the league was a little bit patchy. You know, they were in a strong position to qualify for the semi-finals and just missed out by a late point from Donegal. But there was a lot of stuff in the league that the management, I'm sure, will find useful. So it's been a long layoff, I suppose, between the end of the league and the Galway game. So if that's used well, you know, I'd be confident they'll be in a strong position. Galway, okay in the league. They have a lot of very good, you know, strikers, I would say. Shane Walsh and Gary Size, and a couple of those players will be very strong. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
You mentioned there about the long layoff Mayo have had, and obviously Galway had that game against New York, which I'm not sure how we can take it on its merits. It's a game where every Connacht team now have gone over, have won. Do you think Mayo might be at a disadvantage there, that Galway already have a championship game under their belt? Yeah,
they've two at this stage. Beaten Leitrim as well.
So
every time you go out and you play a championship game, the players are getting more familiar with the routine, the setup, the times, when to eat, recovery, when to prepare, all that kind of stuff. I know they're only small things, but every time you go and you play a championship match, you're getting a little bit more experience and you're a little bit more comfortable with the environment and the setup. So that can only be of use to a team as they prepare. Now, Mayo are a very experienced team on the other hand, and over the years have gone through it. Now it's new management and that kind of stuff, so there will be some tweaks and some bits and pieces as they prepare. But yeah, it can only be a benefit for Galway. But I'm sure with Mayo's experience and knowledge and the players that have been through some big occasions over the last few years, they'll make sure things are ready.
One thing we haven't spoken about yet, and they're on the first side of the Connacht draw, and that's Roscommon. They've obviously had a brilliant league. John Edmonds doing great work with them. How much of a threat are they to the winners, assuming they overcome Sligo? But how much of a threat are they to either Mayo or Galway?
Oh, they're a threat. Yeah, absolutely a threat. Roscommon are a strong team. Obviously had a very good league campaign and won Division 2. With John, they'll positivity and confidence and belief and all that. With every victory, is getting stronger and stronger. So they have a couple of really top players. They have a strong team throughout, but they have a couple of really top players that are dangerous. And we'll take watching. Even if Roscommon aren't playing well, they've still a couple of players that can swing a game for them. So that's always a threat. So it's going to be interesting. I still think Mayo are out in front this year, and if things pan out, it will be a Connacht final in Castlebar, which you'd back Mayo heavily in. But at the same time, last year was very close against Roscommon, and we've had a lot of battles with them over the years. So if you're a fraction off, that could be enough to get you in bother. So everyone will have to have their focus right.
Finally, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you who you think will win the All-Ireland, but who do you think might surprise a few counties? Obviously, we've mentioned there Roscommon who've done well, but do you think there's a few maybe under the level of Sam Maguire level that you might think could do very well?
Yeah, it's hard to see anything outside the regular guys. Dublin and Leinster, Kerry and Munster. I think Donegal up north, and I think Mayo and Connacht. I think they're the guys that are going to be knocking around. Outside that, maybe Roscommon will come with a run. Maybe Cork. Maybe Tyrone, I'm not as sure, but outside that, I'd see it very difficult to pick anyone that'd be a real threat later on in the summer.